So Randy Orton is hurt, and the world is going to end. Give me a fucking break. This is Smart Mark with my first drunken rant. I have been watching multiple shows. As soon as Orton's injury got out there, different people talking about it, and it has just brought forward so many scars for me. So just the issues that we're talking about here, people's opinions, and the fact that almost all of you talk so much shit about Eric Bischoff killing WCW, and you quote the DVDs and you cite the DVDs that are made by WWE as your frame of reference on this shit, and then when you see it in the product that you love in the WWE, you don't call a spade a spade. You still watch the fucking show. You still praise it. They have done so much to bury the legacy of WCW by constantly pointing out that new stars weren't being made. And it's such bullshit. Anytime you watch any wrestling show, there are divisions, belts that constitute a few guys wrestling in competition for, to try to get this belt. Tag team divisions, cruiserweights. I mean, my God, WCW made so many fucking stars, and so, how many of them then came to WWE and propelled the Attitude Era? It's such bullshit and so one-sided. Chris Jericho, who is one of the most adamant about this, and his, he's so on every fucking thing. Oh, well, everybody was getting beat by the NWO, and it sucked, and they didn't build anybody. Chris Jericho fucking would have been nobody if it wasn't for WCW. They made him a fucking star. They allowed him to get over and be different. Goldberg. Hell, they fucking took Scott Steiner away from the fucking Steiner brothers and turned him into a single star and made him the champion. Look at all the guys they made champion through the years. Guys that, as far as I know, were not pushed by WWE. Rick Rude, Vader, Sting, Barry Windham. Fuck me, the fucking list goes on and on. Jeff Jarrett, Scott Steiner. And if you try to say, guys like Goldberg, yeah, they got the belt, but they were not built by WWE to be fucking stars like they were in WCW. Ron Simmons. There were plenty of stars made. The cruiserweight division was highlighted throughout the fucking history of Nitro. And look what WWE did to fucking cruiserweight wrestling. It's practically shunned. And then you see something like what they try to do with Ring of Honor, which is, it's a lot of fucking cruiserweights putting on a bunch of long matches. with a lot of high spots that is different. It's different than the WWE style, and everybody wants to shit all over it. Well, God forbid that. I mean, why does it have to be comparable to the show you're comfortable with, that then you turn around and talk about the fact that there's no stars? Ring of Honor does a better job of keeping enough people at an even kill that if one guy goes out, it's not the end of the fucking world. And I'm not trying to sound like a Ring of Honor mark, because there's plenty of shit they do that I could turn the fucking mirror on them and say this is what WWE does that's so much better. But when you talk about the fact that there's nobody to replace Randy Orton, who is as stale as fucking week-old toast, the best thing that could happen to Randy Orton is that he would go to fucking TNA and do something a little different for a while. I mean, these guys, you know, it's like, look at Christian going from WWE to TNA and back, and Jeff Hardy, you know. The absence makes the heart go fonder from one show to the next. And you can't tell me if Christian didn't come back to TNA that people wouldn't embrace him wholeheartedly and he would be a fucking superstar again. Yet, the argument is that he should be in WWE because that's where the money is at. That's where he makes the most money. If enough of these guys would start thinking about their actual legacy and what the business they're leaving behind for people to give a shit about what they did 20 years from now, there would be a lot more motherfuckers going to TNA trying to create that rivalry again, the competition between two products, to make us want to believe that they're on an even kill. Big Show was made a star and brought into this business by fucking Hulk Hogan. If Big Show went to TNA, think about it. I mean, these guys, I really get a little pissed off when I think about the lack of star power that TNA has been able to draw away from WWE. Especially when it would be better for all involved to create a competitive environment. And yeah, you might have to suffer a little bit, but the end result is everybody prospering. And some of these stars that have made their money, I mean, when Batista quit WWE, fuck him for not going to TNA. Not that, I mean, he's the greatest fucking wrestler ever, and that I would have been shitting my pants about it, but there's a lot of motherfuckers that would have, and it would have brought a few more eyes to the show. Fuck Chris Jericho for not going there. What this does is also creates the system of guys that are in TNA being more important when they would eventually debut in WWE. Guys like Monty Brown that came over back in the day, or Kazarian, who never even made it past OVW, for all I know. These guys come over, and it doesn't mean shit. Nobody's heard of them because there is no, I mean, if you're a WWE mark, you're on here fucking talking shit about TNA, and it's like, I want to enjoy both shows. I want to enjoy wrestling in general. But God forbid we point out that WWE fucking sucks at making new stars. They have been so uncreative for the last 5 fucking years, and so few people have been given actual pushes, and whenever you think somebody is about to break out, then they get squashed and taken back down to mid-card level. How is it that not more of you have fucking turned on this shit and started watching TNA? Randy Orton would be a mid-carder in most other times of wrestling. He is boring as fuck on the mic. And most of his matches, it's like if you watch the Worst of Bret Hart DVD, that would be what Randy Orton's fucking matches look like. He is so generic and repetitive, and we're complaining because there's only 2 stars, him and John Cena. The much bigger issue that nobody is equating to this is the fact that WWE stars now in a PG era cannot ever compete with the WWE's former PG era that featured Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate fucking Warrior, Macho Man, the Honky Tonk Man, Mr. Perfect, Jake the Snake, Brutus the Barber, Andre the fucking Giant, Roddy Piper. Motherfuck. These guys now have no gimmicks that in a PG era they need to be fucking superheroes again and comic book fucking villains. The $1 Million Man, Rick Rude, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff have a fucking gimmick. In the WWE, that is what people want. I am all for WWE being PG and being the show that my kids can watch. But if that's what it's going to be, then let's exploit that and make some characters that make good fucking action figures. And I'm sorry, but these tattooed Randy Orton, CM Punk, Miz, these guys do not make good action figures. What is special about them? They're not heroes. They're tweeners. Every time Randy Orton goes down and starts beating the fucking mat and throwing his fucking little predator fit bullshit, the first time I saw that, I was like, what is he doing? That looks so stupid. And now it is 3 years later, and he's still fucking doing it. I cannot believe that not one motherfucker has went up to him and said, dude, you look stupid when you do that shit. I cannot believe that he has not once went back and watched his performance and said, my God, I look stupid when I fucking do this. I am not going to do it anymore. But WCW went out of business, and Eric Bischoff is the biggest villain ever, and Vince Russo, because and I'm sorry, but when you talk about Vince Russo, and oh, this reeked of Russo. Oh, Vince Russo is the biggest motherfucking villain ever. Vince Russo, when I smell Russo, I see new guys getting over. I see a push of new guys who tried to push Billy Kidman by working him with fucking Hulk Hogan. Where else would that happen? That's what fucking Russo reeks of. And I'm not saying he doesn't write some bullshit and that he's not best served with working in a team with some other people that can say, hey, that sucks. But he's responsible. When I think of Russo, I think of he came into WCW after years of it being ruled by Hogan, Nash, Sting, Flair. And he came in and tried to get new guys over. But people, what WCW was mostly known for was having that sort of past their prime talent. And I think that was the thing. You know, he came in and said, we got to get some of these new guys over. And it didn't fucking work. But people want to shit all over him. And then at the same time, oh, WWE's got no body to replace Randy fucking Orton. It is the pot calling the kettle black, and WWE has been guilty of it for the last easily 5 years, probably closer to 10. How few breakout fucking stars have they had in the last 10 years? How many mid-carders have they had that somebody that just starts liking wrestling 3 years from now is going to give a shit about what they did back in 2005? And we get so eager to push some of these guys just because we want to see stars and we want to see a renaissance of WWE putting on a great show and giving us a bunch of fucking dudes that seem like guys that we give a shit about. And they haven't built guys consistently enough to where their mid-card belts don't mean shit anymore. And guys just pop in like Alberto Del Rio to that world title or WWE title scene, and everybody hates it. They think they've been pushed too fast. And now it's all about Cody Rhodes and Dolph Ziggler, who need 2 more solid years of mid-card fucking build. But who's the number 1 contender right now? Dolph fucking Ziggler. This is why I don't really do the WWE reviews, because although, I mean, I generally just will shit all over it. There are things I like, and I feel bad in a way, because it's like I still watch the shows. I still keep current with what's going on. But overall, it pisses me off more than I enjoy it. TNA used to be the same way. But now, I've started enjoying their show a lot fucking more. And I might still rag on a lot of shit that goes on there, but I feel like at least they're putting forth the effort. It's gotten so bad with these that now desperately am seeking out Ring of Honor and Florida Championship Wrestling videos, you know, to have something different and interesting to watch. And if you're not watching FCW, you need to be trying to find their weekly show because it is very fucking good. And the fact that it is with WWE, it's like, how is it that they put this show on every week and they accomplish more in an hour for me as a real wrestling fan than I see on SmackDown pretty much ever and on half of the fucking Raw shows. I could go on forever. It's 20 minutes here, so I'm going to wrap it up. You know, I just sit here every once in a while and might get a couple of drinks in me, and I watch what you guys are saying, and I respect your opinions, and this is not to really try to be an asshole towards anybody, because I enjoy watching you, and just because I disagree with you on something doesn't mean that I'm trying to start some kind of fight with you, because I still watch your fucking shows, and I hope that you'll still watch mine even if you don't agree with everything I fucking say. Thank you. Good night.